There are certain fighters in the UFC who do not look like a fighter at all, where underestimating them would be a massive mistake. So here is 10 UFC fighters who don't look like MMA fighters. Number 10. You would never think that smiling Sam Alvey is a fighter because he always has a big grin on his face. But don't let his smile fool you, as he has the power to make his opponent go night-night. He has finished 5 fights in his UFC career either by TKO or by knockout, which shows that he does pack a punch. Even when he's facing off with his opponent, he just seems so happy to be there. Sam Alvey is a dangerous middleweight fighter who many would never even think that he fights. Number 9. OMalley is a relatively new bantamweight prospect who with 2 wins has brought a lot of attention towards himself. When looking at OMalley, he looks like a kid from high school with his big fluffy hair and his tall skinny frame. But this fighter possesses a unique flashy fighting style which is very interesting to see. He throws wild unorthodox strikes from weird angles and is very good off his back. OMalley is a great bantamweight prospect whose future in the UFC looks very bright. Number 8. Ben Nguyen is a top UFC flyweight contender who is very quick on his feet and possesses a dangerous submission game. Ben Nguyen does not look like a fighter at all with his baby-faced looks and just seems like a friendly Asian guy. But this fighter is highly talented and will make you pay if you underestimate him. Just ask Julian Wallace, who got in his face thinking he was a nobody. Ben Nguyen made him pay for his actions, finishing him by knockout in the first round. Ben Nguyen is an up-and-coming flyweight prospect who has the potential to do big things in the future. Number 7. Grasso is an up-and-coming UFC strawweight contender who has compiled a UFC record of 2 wins and 1 loss. Grasso looks like a sweet little girl whose smile will never make you think that she is a fighter. This lady can fight and possesses great well-rounded skills. She has great boxing skills and also possesses a decent ground game. She always comes to scrap and definitely should not be underestimated. She is a very talented fighter where hopefully she can climb up the rankings and become a legit contender one day. Number 6. Karolina Kowalkiewicz is a top UFC strawweight contender who has quickly risen up the division where she challenged for the title UFC 205. She is a very happy person who is always smiling and seems harmless. But when she steps inside the octagon, she comes to fight and has great one-rounded skills. She has a victory over the current UFC strawweight champion Rose Namajunas, which shows how good she really is. She is not afraid to get into a brawl with her opponent and is willing to take punishment to implement her game plan. She is an exciting fighter to watch, but hopefully she is able to challenge for the title in the near future. Number 5. Demetrious Johnson is considered to be the best pound-for-pound fighter on the planet due to his dominance inside the octagon. He stands 5 feet 3 inches tall and does not seem to look like a fighter at all. With that being said, he is one of the most complete fighters on the roster who doesn't seem to have a weakness. He has out-wrestled world-class wrestlers as well as submit Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts. He most recently broke the record for the most title defenses and always exceeds his last performance each time he competes. Number 4. Rockhold is a former UFC middleweight champion who is considered to be one of the most complete fighters in the 185-pound division. When looking at Rockhold, you would never think that he was a professional fighter. Many people would mistake him for a model or a professional surfer. Rockhold is a very dangerous man who can either finish his opponent on the feet or wrap his opponent up in a submission. His performances have shown that he is one of the best middleweights on the planet. Number 3. Paige Vanzant is a top UFC flyweight whose good looks would make a person think that she must be a model or something, but never a professional fighter. Whenever she fights, she is willing to get bloodied up with her opponent and will not give up. When she faced Rose Namajunas at UFC Fight Night 80, Rose Namajunas had trapped her in a deep armbar, but her toughness helped her escape the submission. She is both a good striker and a grappler, where it will be interesting to see how she progresses in the flyweight division. Number 2. Sage Northcutt is the youngest fighter in the UFC who is 22 years old, who has had some great performances in the UFC. When looking at Sage Northcutt, the first impressions of him would make you think that he would be a fitness model due to his ripped physique. The last thing on a person's mind would be to think that he fights for the world's best organization. His happy personality can fool anyone into thinking that he's harmless. But Sage Northcutt has great striking skills, who is fast and accurate when he strikes. Although he's very young in this sport, he is slowly developing into a complete mixed martial artist and looks better and better in each fight. It will be interesting to see how he develops over the years, where hopefully he can become a serious contender in the future. Number 1. Doo Ho Choi is a top featherweight contender whose appearance will never make anyone think that he's a fighter. Don't let his innocent face fool you, as this man has the ability to knock your teeth out. 11 of his 14 wins have come by violent finishes, where he possesses some serious power in both hands. Does this man seem like a UFC fighter to you? Just look at this guy. This guy doesn't seem dangerous at all. I'll pause for a minute. Just have a look at him. Okay, so what do you guys think? I would feel sorry for anyone picking on this kid because Doo Ho Choi would put him in a world of pain. He is one very tough fighter and is not very easy to break. We saw this in his fight with Cub Swanson at UFC 206, where Cub Swanson hit him with everything he had but couldn't put him away. Doo Ho Choi is a very talented fighter, where hopefully we can see him move closer to a title shot in the future.